Libra, welcome to your monthly sidereal forecast for July 2015. My name is Athen. So this month we've got two full moons right at the beginning of the month on the 1st here, shaping up in your 3rd house of communications and learning and how you're thinking about things. You've had Pluto transiting there already for the past many years, helping you strip away any old thought patterns, any old belief systems, old things relating to over-rationalizing, too scientific sometimes, can be the energy also of the 3rd house. But I say too much because Pluto always just strips away all the stuff that's not serving us. So once all that's stripped away, the old stuff relating to communications and thoughts, etc., and learning, maybe even things relating to siblings as well, or your peers, which is another signifier of the 3rd house. Then this power of Pluto comes out, and you're willing to make change there, because once we have non-attachment to these things, we're not attached to any particular ideas, any particular ways of communicating, then we come into a new level of freedom, which is always the case with these slow-moving planets, and this type of freedom is very, very, very powerful. So I emphasize this because the full moon's happening within 5 degrees of that Pluto. So really illuminating this 3rd house and those matters about Pluto. It's a very transformative full moon in general. Also because Mars is very close to the Sun within 5 degrees also during the full moon, making it even more transformative. So here, having that awareness about your thoughts and communications is certainly key. Also things over the past 6 months that maybe you started relating to learning or communicating can come to a culmination point and a fruition. So that is also something to observe. And then also a culmination of any 8th house matters, which is shared resources and transformation that took place last month, can culminate here as well. So something to be aware of. Now also on the 1st, we've got a very optimistic energy. Venus is conjuncting up to Jupiter here in your 10th house. You're probably feeling this towards the end of June as well. Here, this is opportunities with work, which has been the case for you Libras, with Jupiter transiting your 10th house. Been a lot of opportunities there, I would say, maybe even relating to your work in particular, of like your crafts, your skills, your day-to-day work environment, also perhaps even communicating on a public level as well, with Jupiter naturally ruling your 6th and your 3rd house. So whatever those things are, I think more opportunities there, especially with Venus conjoining up to it. I think you can enjoy that stuff very much. I think it can be very positively transformative with her naturally ruling your 8th house, and this is of course your ruler. So I think all in all, you Libras will be very optimistic, especially this first few days of the month, which is really good around work, maybe because some of these opportunities are coming to ahead. Now, the 5th and 6th, the Sun will be opposing up to Pluto here, further emphasizing this importance of non-attachment. And this is, again, non-attachment also with these 9th house matters, because we always want to bring in the energies of the opposition into this area. So since the middle part of last month, you guys have had perhaps a lot of motivation, a lot of excitement around travel, around your life path, around spirituality, university, anything that opens up your horizons, with both Mars and the Sun transiting that 9th house. So having a non-attached perspective with that, and just balancing the expansive stuff with the more day-to-day stuff, the more mundane stuff, which is 3rd house. And the better you're able to find that balance, then the more you'll find that this energy is actually very very transformative in a good sense. Because once we have that non-attachment, then we can make change, because we're willing to make change. So there are perhaps some things to change about, of course, the 3rd house, but also in relation to your wisdom, your philosophy, your life path, perhaps. And it's minor, it's only a mundane planet, but whatever that is. Generally for all of you, I think being willing to change those areas will be very, very positive. Now, Saturn goes retrograde, dips back into your 1st house, which is where you had him for the past 3 years up until the last part of last year. So over the past few years, except for the past 7 or 8 months, you've had Saturn in your 1st house, which is about you, your goals, your drives. Perhaps since then, you guys have come to a lot of understanding about your responsibilities in life. Maybe assuming some more responsibilities since then. But whatever that's been for you, it's a time to rework that for the next few months now, with Saturn going back in there, just putting in whatever hard work and discipline is necessary with with self, with your goals, with your drives, long-term responsibility in general with you Libras. So put energy into that, I think, this month. I think you'll find that very, very supportive. And this also kind of somewhat takes a break from your 2nd house. You still want to be, working hard towards the financial and material side of things, but I would say it's definitely a blend of both this month. Now on the 8th, Mercury changes sign, joining up with the Sun and Mars here in that 9th house of yours, further emphasizing this expansive energy. This is a very expansive month for you. I think there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of open horizons happening, maybe from the spiritual or maybe from the physical, such as traveling. So whatever that is, Mercury here can help you understand that a lot more, flying through this 9th house this month. And the Sun, of course, already there helping you get excited about it, express it, and Mars here maybe taking some action in relation to that. And this is a good location for the Sun and Mars, by the way. They're at the top of the chart, so your guys' energy level should be quite good, I would say, this month, and it will be getting even better next month, or actually as this month unfolds too, in particular. So that's going to be Mercury, and that's the day-to-day environment, so thinking about working with anything on that 9th house level. Now on the 15th, we have the new moon taking place over here in that 9th house, further emphasizing new beginnings around travel, expansion, philosophy, life path, probably from whatever work and energy you've been putting into it or just in general. So reflecting around the 15th is always what we want to do during a new moon, is just kind of think about it, reflect on it. Then as the lunar energy builds over the coming days from that, putting in any energy into any intentions that you set around the new moon relating to life path, travel, expansion, and the 9th house. Venus changes sign. She goes into that 11th house at the same time. So here, Venus in the 11th is about enjoying your work. 11th house is about giving and contributing. So give, contribute, join causes, do things that are larger than self in that way. Maybe network, connect to friends. All of this I think you'll find very enjoyable. And there's a lot to be learned about it this month too, with Venus going retrograde a little bit later, which I'll talk about. Mercury conjoins up to Mars here in that 9th house on the 15th as well. So while that happens, interestingly, with this new moon and all this, changing signs and everything, Mercury and Mars, when they come together, oppose up to Pluto. So here, a very strong emphasis, middle part of the month, just be very, conscious of the, Plutonic energy. So what I mean by that is be willing, again, to change how you're thinking about things, be able to be open to change how you're communicating, how you're expressing, what your life path is doing, all of this stuff. Because with this energy here, Mars is very direct. Mars wants the life path stuff now. Mars wants, the travel now, all this stuff, whatever. And that can certainly be something that can shape up for you. But with Pluto, just remember that there's a process, and it's through non-attachment that things transpire the way they're supposed to transpire. Because with, Mars is the ego type of energy. Pluto is the ego killer type of energy, where he strips away everything that, we're overly attached to. So I think non-attachment is certainly the key, specifically relating to the 9th house, and also your communications and thoughts, which is this conjunction up to Mercury, because you can be very direct, very intent on your ideas this month. So it's very important that you're balancing that with compassion and non-attachment, which is Pluto. Now, 22nd and 23rd, we've got Mercury then conjoining up to the Sun, and when that happens, they go into your 10th house. So here, 10th house is all about your work, your career, public life, everything on that level. This is where the new beginnings are going to be shaping up for you next month. So I think already, though, with all these opportunities that have been there, now the Sun is in its favorable part of the chart. It's also in a friendly sign, which is quite nice in Cancer. At the top, though, so lots of energy here, lots of self-expression, and anything relating to work, I would really be putting energy into that. And with this conjunction, you're on fire here with your thoughts and your communications. Of course, again, bringing that conscious energy into it. It's a very strong emphasis this month of that. But nonetheless, I think you'll be very excited, very passionate about your ideas. So putting that into the career side of things in a balanced way will be a nice way to work with that. 25th and 26th, Venus goes retrograde in that 11th, like I was saying. And when that happens, Uranus goes retrograde in the 6th. So with any type of routine stuff or stuff that you've been freeing up with the routine or the health or the diet or being of service with others, now reflect on those things over the next 6 months. This happens once a year. It's just a reflective time now for you in relation to the routine and health and service. And that can be very freeing. You're learning about freedom there. You're learning about maybe even freedom through your work as well, which is 6th house. So whatever that's been for you that you've been breaking free from, going introverted, thinking about it, reflecting on it, maybe even redoing some things relating to that towards the end of this month and for the next 6 months. Venus retrograde here, reflecting on friends, groups, and everything on that level. And every time Venus goes retrograde, it's always a a deeper sort of reflection, because she naturally rules your 8th house. So really thinking about the deeper side of things, what's really meaningful in relationships, what's really meaningful in, humanitarian stuff or whatever it is that you're involved with here in the 11th. Now on the 31st, we have the second full moon of the month happening in Capricorn. So here, a culmination point of your home and family and of past and roots. And this can be a culmination of any energy you've been putting into your work and career this month. And over the past 6 months, anything new you started with home, maybe you changed locations, maybe something new with family, maybe renovated or whatever it was for you personally. It can also be a culmination point now where maybe things get completed. They become aware. It's anything relating to home, family, real estate, things of that nature. And, it's always an observational point at the very least. So just observing and reflecting on home and family stuff, I think will be a very nice energy to work with that full moon. So all in all, Libra this month is certainly emphasizing, I would say, the life path stuff in the early part of the month, about traveling, opening up your horizons. A lot of this stuff transformative that happened last month now helped you open your horizons, helped you see things on that greater level. So moving forward with those things and being willing to, again, make any changes there. But then things definitely shift into this career stuff, which is all about these opportunities and expansion, which has been the case for you. Saturn going back into the first house too, reflecting on how you can assume more responsibility, take the more mature approach to things as you've already mastered and learned over the past 3 years, and continue to move forward with that. So hope you guys have a nice month. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringzodiac.com, or if you'd like a personal session, and I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.